Hello and welcome to the Next in Line podcast, where we are helping to prepare you for whatever is next in line. As always, I am your host, Chance Pitts, and I would like to thank you for tuning into this episode. Guys and gals, welcome into another episode of the podcast. I'm very excited to have y'all here with me to hopefully give y'all some insight, some motivation, some inspiration, or maybe just a different way of looking at things, guys. We've got a few announcements. We've got a really cool topic I want to dive into today, but before we get into all that, let's take care of the housekeeping. If you receive value from this episode or any other episode of the Next in Line podcast, I would ask that you share the show with like-minded individuals who could receive the same kind of value. That's the number one way for us to grow this movement and this podcast and to reach more people and, in effect, guys, to help more people. That's our number one goal here, to help as many people as possible understand what their true potential is in this life and what they are truly capable of. Now, along with that, guys, another way you can help us spread the word is by leaving us a rating, a review, a like, a subscription, or a comment on whatever platform you find yourself listening on if you're able to do so. What that's going to do is it's going to help us pop up in the search bar a little bit earlier when people look for personal development and self-help type podcasts. Now, guys, along with that, if you want to keep up with all the craziness we have going on, the training that we're doing, and just what we're making happen on the day-to-day in our lives, and some motivational and inspirational content too, make sure you give us a follow on social media. That's at Next in Line Development on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. You can also shoot us a DM there. We've answered a lot of questions. We've helped a lot of people make training schedules, whether it's running, strength, even some dietary questions that we've been able to answer for people there as well. And we also just love to generally hear your feedback on there as well. So if you got something you want to tell us, guys, that's a great way to do so. It's a very responsive platform for us. We're able to get back to people very quickly. So we'd love to hear from y'all there. Now, guys, moving into some announcements. We just wrapped up day 49 of day 75 hard today. We've got a great group of individuals still making the push right now. Almost, as of tomorrow, actually, we'll be 2/3 of the way through on day 50. It's crazy to think that we started this thing 50 days ago now, and it's been a grind and a push ever since. We've had a few people slip up along the way and have to restart or choose to just kind of keep pushing along and making themselves better without a true restart. But either way, guys, it's been awesome to see the progress people have made, and it's been awesome to see the goals they're setting and the commitments that they've made to be successful. Myself today, I ran a 20-mile run as part of my training plan for upcoming ultra marathon to close out day 59. Got a little bit sunburned. If you're watching the podcast on YouTube, showing off my tan line or future tan line, it's just red right now, but we'll be keeping up with that as well. But it's been really fun getting back in the swing of some of this distance running and preparing for the upcoming race, Brazos Bend 50 that we've got coming on April 1st. We'll be out there running the 50-mile event, and we're actually represented very well from this group of 75 hard and a few friends as well that are going to be out there running events from the 5K, the 10K, the 25K, the 50K, and the 50-miler. We've got people in all of those events. I'm super stoked for that. It's going to be a party. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a tent set up out there and a crew station and all that. Unfortunately, there's no pacers at this event, but we'll have a lot of people out there just enjoying being a part of this great event. And while we're there, guys, if you want to run in any of these races, if you want to just come and hang out with us, reach out, shoot us a DM. Let me know if you want to do that. If you want to be part of this, around it, learn more about it. We would love to have you, love to help you get through your race, and just honestly to be a part of you taking another step in down your path of personal development. So, like I said, guys, Brazos Bend 50 on April 1st. Really, really looking forward to that. And it's part of the bigger training plan, getting ready for the Katy 225, like I talked about before, the 225-mile ultra marathon I've got out in Missouri this October. So, guys, now that we've broke through the announcements and all the housekeeping and all that good stuff, I want to talk about the topic that we have today. I'd really like to open up with a quote here by Yasmin Moghadam. The quote goes, "There are some people who could hear you speak 1,000 words and still not understand you. And there are others who will understand without you even speaking a word. And the reason that quote resonates with me so well is because once again I found myself at a work event talking to people about ultra running and all the crazy long distance stuff that I do. And naturally, with a group of people who don't train, don't work out, spend a lot of time drinking, or don't eat healthy, or don't prioritize their fitness, not saying anything bad about anybody, but that's the typical corporate lifestyle that a lot of people see, and career that a lot of people see, especially nowadays. But regardless, I'll leave that one alone. But whenever you're in that environment, a lot of people don't understand whenever you're trying to push yourself and make yourself better. But it's not really just with the ultra running, guys. It's whenever you commit yourself to something more than people are comfortable with, or more than people understand the rationale for. And the thing about that, guys, is it's not just a commitment to going and trying to run a long race. It's not just a commitment to trying to eat a little bit healthier, or to stop drinking, or to maybe lose a few pounds. But what you're doing, guys, is you're choosing to commit to success, and you're choosing to make success the priority in your life. So that's why whenever I go around these events and I get around people and we tend to talk about these crazy things that have going on in my life, because that's just what people seem to want to talk about all the time. It's really frustrating whenever I get those normal answers like, "Oh, you're crazy. I could never do that." Or, "Why would you ever want to put yourself through that?" Or even the classic, if you see me running, you better start running too, because something's chasing me. And I really don't like that way of thinking, guys. But the more I think back through the years and all the things that I've done, it's kind of always been like that. There's always been a lot of people around me that don't understand the level of commitment that it takes to truly be successful in your field and to truly put success as a priority in your life. Thinking back on several different incidences in my life growing up and several different situations, this was a lot more prevalent than I ever thought it was. Now, some example of that, guys, is growing up, we played a lot of baseball. Me and my brother, we were very committed. We played travel ball year round. We both started at 3 years old in T-ball. Just loved the sport, loved the game ever since we were children. And then the priority switched as we got older to trying to become college athletes in the sport of baseball. And we knew the level of commitment, we knew the level of success that it would take to pursue that endeavor. And there was always a huge group of people around us that would think that we're spending way too much time on baseball. We're not allowed to live and just be kids and enjoy our lives. We're spending way too much money on traveling and going to these events and all these hotels and things. And looking back, maybe we did. But the truth of the matter is the time, the energy, the money, all of those things, they were part of the process of choosing success, part of the process of deciding that success was going to become a priority for us. Now, fast forward a few years, I decided not to pursue a path to college for baseball. My brother did and did very well in college, but I decided to start showing cattle. And I got in with a great family. I'm not going to name them because I haven't asked for permission to name them, of course, but a great family that was very committed and taught me so much about cattle. But what they demanded was a lot of time for me, a lot of effort, a lot of commitment, a lot of ability to invest what we could to get the best quality animal and the best quality feed, and to really commit to this success and make success a priority so that we could go and be successful in the show ring, and that we could pursue the Texas Junior Livestock top 10 in the state and some other rewards and honors that we were able to achieve by being successful and by making a push and by learning from great people. But all of those things, again, add up to this huge level of success and this commitment to success and making it a priority that I'm continually talking about. And within that, there was always a group of people that didn't understand why we were at stock shows every single weekend. They didn't understand that I couldn't go out until all of the animals are fed, until my cattle were worked, until the animals were washed and we'd worked hair and blown them out and everything like that. There was so much commitment to it that we had to take care of before we could enjoy fun, and people didn't understand that. And even going into my young professional career and committing myself as hard as I did for so long into a career and trying to be as successful as I could, people wouldn't understand why I would get there very, very early and work into the late hours of the night, even when I was a career or a salaried employee, not getting paid for my overtime. People didn't understand the commitment to that and trying to be successful and trying to pursue growth and promotions and to be the best version of myself that I could to lead a team of individuals. They didn't understand prioritizing success and trying to commit and be the best person that I could be. Now, the last area that I'll talk about as an example, I know I'm kind of beating a dead horse at this point, but it's leaked into this health and running side of things for me. A lot of people don't understand my decisions to not eat fried foods, not eat certain items that I know aren't good for me. A lot of people don't understand my commitment to not drinking anymore. People don't understand my commitment to running 6 miles a day on average and going out on the weekends like I did today and running 20 miles. But people don't understand that because they don't fully grasp what it takes for me to be successful in my chosen field right now. This ultra running game and the health side of things take a level of commitment that I've never had to pursue in my life. And what I mean by that, guys, is I've always been, diet-wise, a terrible eater. I've always been somebody that just makes terrible diet decisions and then always drank a whole lot on the weekends too, which just extenuated that. And then I was very sedentary as well. I never got up, never ran. And it wasn't until a few years ago that I decided to really make a difference. And I ended up losing about 60 pounds and segueing into some of these crazy running things. But the truth of the matter is, guys, that it's very, very hard for me to stay disciplined in that. It's very, very hard for me to stay committed. So what I'm doing with all of the decisions I make on a daily basis, all these rules that I set for myself, all the schedule that I make for running, and all these commitments that I make myself honor, what I'm doing, guys, is I'm making it as hard as I can for myself to not be successful. And what I mean by that, guys, I know that was a little bit tricky worded there, but what I'm doing is I'm putting myself in the best position possible to excel in my chosen goal, on my chosen path. And that's why we've got to commit. That's why we've got to choose success as a priority for ourselves. And guys, I know that was several different examples, but I just wanted to lay out and show y'all kind of where that's found itself in my life and kind of how that's progressed throughout my years, and that this isn't a new thing for me, guys. The commitment to success and making success a priority and deciding to take on these big challenges, all of these things are things that I've done for a very long time in my life, and I've chosen to do so and to continue that and adapt it as I took sight on different things and prioritized things and realized what in my life was actually the more important things. But even though I've been able to do this, guys, and I've been able to stay focused to an extent and kind of act with a moving target and aim at the things that were more important to my life now, there's also a few things that I really had to do to make success a priority within my life. And guys, I wanted to list a few of those things off for you here. And number one on that list, guys, is the first thing I had to do was I had to remove a lot of these people that didn't understand. I had to remove the negativity. I had to take all of the people that had negative things to say and the why would you do that mentality, and I had to remove them from my life. And the reason I had to do that, guys, is because whenever you're pursuing success, things are going to get hard. Things are not going to be fun all the time. You're going to come to a point of doubt. You're going to come to a point where you're wondering why you're doing the things you're doing, why you're putting yourself through all the craziness in life, and why you're still making the push when everyone around you just seems to be going through life, enjoying it, kind of willy-nilly doing whatever they want. And when those times come, guys, if you surround yourself with the wrong people, if you let the negativity be right up in your face, what it's going to do is it's going to be creating doubt. It's going to create weaknesses in you. And whenever those moments come, it's going to expose them, and it's going to just bring you down even further, and you will have a better chance and a better opportunity to fail on the path to the goals that you're trying to do. So that is number one, guys. Make sure you remove that negativity from your life. Number two, guys, commit. And there's a great quote I wanted to throw in here for this one. Any Parks and Rec fans out there, this is a Ron Swanson quote, and it goes like this: never half-ass two things, whole ass one thing. So that's the second part of this, guys. Commit or go whole ass. Commit yourself, guys. Make sure you decide whatever it is that you're wanting to do, that you're going to engage, that you're going to be successful, and you're going to stick with it. And what that looks like, guys, is scheduling things for yourself. For instance, right now, I have a very strict schedule of workouts that I stick to, and 75 Hard helps me do that. But I am training about 16 hours a week, a little over 2 hours a day, trying to become a better runner, trying to become a better athlete, trying to become more healthy, and to reach some of these goals that I've got. And that's part of the commitment. I have this time blocked out, and it's a non-negotiable for myself. Same thing with the diet, guys. I make sure to follow exactly what I want to do diet-wise with my goals in mind. I've stopped looking at food as something that is just overly enjoyable. It's something I have to have the best of flavor-wise every single time. I've got to have something that's going to be the norm in society. It's going to be what everybody else wants to eat and where they want to eat, and giving into all the temptations of comfort foods and whatnot. No, that's not what I need in my life anymore, guys. I'm committed to looking at food as fuel and making sure that I am eating the things that I need to be successful where I need to in this life. Next, guys, number 3 on that list is find you a good support system. Like I mentioned with that Brazos Spin 50 race, you got to have good people around you. And it combats, number one, that negativity. It removes the negativity for you, having those good people. Because what that's going to do, guys, is it's going to create you a support system. It's going to create you people who genuinely care about your success. It's also going to bring you mentors. It's going to bring you people that are training or experienced in the area that you want to be successful in, and it's going to help you become even more successful. You'll be able to trade benefits back and forth with them through working together and through committing to this success by finding the support system and by finding people with the same goals as you and that are headed in the same direction. It's also going to create a lot of avenues for learning, guys, because whenever you have the support system, you've got resources that you wouldn't otherwise in those topics. That's experienced people like we talked about with the mentors. That's people who have a connection and maybe can put you together with somebody that knows somebody that's really good in the area that you want to be successful in. So, like I said, guys, get that support system, get those people around you that want to be successful and have the same goals in mind as you. Lastly, guys, I talked about goals several times in this podcast, but that's a big one in here. Set a goal. Make your goal attainable. And what that goal is going to become, guys, is a beacon in the dark night for you. And what I mean by that, guys, is whenever you come across these times of doubt, the times of weakness that we talked about earlier in number 1, whenever you find yourself struggling, and you're going to, because becoming better and becoming the best version of you is something that's very hard to do. It's very challenging. You're going to have the uphill fight. You're going to feel like you get knocked down on your ass several times during this process, but you have to pick yourself up and keep moving and keep your eyes on the prize that is this goal. Make sure that your goal is not something that's way, way crazy over the top, that's completely unattainable, because it can also set you back. It can also put you in a spot where you feel like you're never going to make it, so you decide to quit. But also don't make it too easy, guys. You don't want the goal to be so attainable that you can cheat your way through it, or that you can maybe utilize someone else's resources and have somebody else complete it for you and rely solely on their experience and not actually get any value out of the pursuit of this goal. So make sure you set the goal. Make sure it's a good goal that you can measure your progress towards every single day, and that you can set a plan on how to attain and how to achieve that goal. Guys, I know this has been a pretty brief podcast today, but I wanted to keep it simple and easy for y'all, and I wanted to make sure that we got our points across today. I know this is a topic we've talked about a couple of times, with me having to endure these conversations of people that don't quite understand why I do the things I do. But remember, guys, it's not just about these huge, crazy scale goals like running 225 miles. It's whenever you're sitting across the table from a coworker and they're wondering why you're sifting through the menu looking for the healthiest thing that you can find. It's whenever you're at that restaurant with that coworker and you're ordering water instead of soda or sweet tea, and they're questioning every little thing you're doing. People have to understand what it takes to become successful and to commit to that success and to prioritize the success within your life. It is a whole nother level, guys. It is a solid commitment that requires unwavering commitment to it. And to become the best version of yourself, guys, I think that this is something that you truly have to understand. And you truly have to take these steps that we talked about, guys, removing the negativity, committing, finding your support system, and setting that goal so that you can focus every single day on what it is that you want to achieve in this life and become the best version of yourself that you possibly can. Now, guys, I would like to thank y'all for tuning into this episode. Remember, if you want to run with us out at Brazos Bend 50 in Needville on April 1st, don't hesitate to reach out, shoot us a DM, let us know what it is that you're wanting to do, whether it's just hang out or get around and maybe even run a race, guys. But with that, make sure that you are staying committed to your goals, guys. If there's anything we can do to help at any point, don't hesitate to reach out, shoot us a DM. We're always glad to help, and always be prepared for whatever is next in line.